Alrighty, so we are back with our third day in Arx Fatalis. We are approximately 4.5 hours in at this point, and quite a bit has unfolded since we began our journey. As a bit of a recap, the game begins with an image of our hero seemingly under some control of magic, knocking him out, dropping to the floor and being dragged away by a goblin. Once we wake up in jail, we find that we really don't know what's going on. We don't even know our name at that point. We meet a fellow prisoner in the adjacent cell named Koltar. And without too much effort, we were able to bust out by tossing a heavy block at the portcullis and opening some bars next to us. We escape, grab a weapon, in which case we use it to dispatch one of the goblin jailers. Then we set free our neighbor, Koltar. We make our way through the caverns and through the dungeon and meet up with Koltar later, who has managed to make his way out as well. Once we finally exit the primary dungeon where we begin, we start to really, take off in terms of finding equipment. We start with just the bare minimum, and by bare I mean quite bare. We are literally wearing a mankini of some kind, which maybe not is too suitable for the type of adventure we want to do, especially when we have to come across goblins and spiders and rats, at least so far. But we found some armor, found a little bit of upgrades in weapons, and a lot of other items along the way. We still have the same amount of inventory slots, which is interesting because at the beginning we didn't have any clothing to speak of, really. No backpack or any other fanny packs or bags of holding or anything like that, but certainly not complaining about that, because in games like this, the more inventory the better. It doesn't seem to be related to our strength, or doesn't seem to have any form of encumbrance, but that is fine. It's really hard to manage encumbrance in a video game without it being extremely restrictive. So we're going to go ahead and resume our adventure. Before we really get too far, I'll mention that we've learned along the way that our name is Shagar. Beyond that, we really don't know what's going on. We came across a note which alluded to essentially some form of enslavement of humans with the help of goblins. There's some monetary exchange, and ultimately it's a trade-off for human sacrifices to this priest named Akba. And the request is made by a Lord Acerbius, which we're not sure what his role is at this point. And then after we made our way out of the Goblin Kingdom, we found a ransacked castle, or keep if you will. Found a commander there named Ortiern, who, even though we tried to explain to him that we have amnesia and don't know what we're doing or what our role is currently, he tasked us with warning the king of Arx that a band of marauders called Ilside has come, and to send reinforcements. We don't know exactly what happened to those enemies, or the forces that were at play behind the scenes. So we're kind of on our way to find out more information for this Commander Ortiern. We also made a friend named Polzius. He's a goblin that we set free from the goblin prison, so he apparently was jailed because he's sympathetic to the cause of humans, or at least has an issue with the way things are going with the sacrifices and so on. And beyond that, we're kind of making our way, feeling out the story as we go. We, through Polzius, were given the opportunity to trade with the goblins because he forged a letter for us, because the goblins, while generally hostile to humans, they are okay with humans that are gem traders. So we are now posing as a gem trader, as we have this signed authorization letter. We made our way through some of the goblin territories because we were told that that's pretty much the only way to make progression through this region. And thankfully, as a result,
I don't like it.
we have had safe passage. Found along the way that there's a goblin strike, so we can't do any kind of trading with them at the moment. We don't know what the deal is behind the scenes there. And we also found a couple trolls that were blocking the way. They informed us that we're not their friend, so they also won't let us pass, and it didn't seem like a good idea to attack them because they were far larger than us, and considering we're still pretty early on in the game, we probably shouldn't attack them, as we still have trouble with certain spiders. So, be that as it may, we found an alternate path, and after going through a cavern and fighting a large spider that was quite a hard-fought battle, we were able to finally defeat it and make our way to this town, which appears to be the town of Arx. And that's where we left off. We found this town. It seems to be pretty, I don't know, has a sort of depressing overtone to it, as there's not really any sunlight here. But, you know, that's how it goes. We're just going to kind of feel our way out. I've spent the last stream sort of going through the perimeter of this area, and realized that we have quite a lot to explore here. There are many different doorways, and currently we decided to hold off on going through any. We met a few townsfolk who were fairly rude. This looks to be, yeah, this is Alicia, so we talked to her last time.
Gary is a rich and influential
She was quite rude, although she did imply that we should know her. And of course, as we are experiencing amnesia, we were unable to really get any headway with her because she just seemed to want to talk about herself. So we get quite a few drop frames here, so I'm hoping my connection isn't trying to completely fail, but keep going and see what happens. The other person of note we met here was a little girl named Shawnee, who she seemed kind of friendly, a little creepy maybe, but you know, she also helped us out by letting us know about a crypt, and oddly enough, she seemed to share a similar name with a pig that we met in that ransacked town, or castle. And ultimately, you know, that's basically where we are. There were a couple names we were also made aware of in this town. One would be Carlo, seems to be the captain of the guard, and a blacksmith named Miguel. So we haven't met any of them directly, but we are going to make our way through this town. And there's the little girl. Leave her alone for now. Alrighty, so I'm seeing this connection is all over the place. So let's check out this door. We might as well start somewhere. Thankfully the map fills in as we go. My goodness, we're seeing quite a shift to our drop frames here. Hopefully it's still running okay for everyone.
Leave me alone, or I'll call the gods.
Okay, so we can't go in there. How about this?
Leave me alone.
Alright, well that makes it a little easier. We don't need to worry about every door in this town. That's a nice thing, because it could get a little overwhelming if we had to go through every single door. How about over here? Okay. Ooh, some treasure chests. Let's see if we can...
Welcome to my stall, traveler. I'm Maria. Please take a look at my wares and let me know if you find anything you'd like.
Alright. Anything else?
See if you need any of my wares.
Alright, see if you need any of my wares. Let's see what's in here. Transaction is effective as soon as you pick up an item from or drop an item into the shopkeeper's chest. You cannot change your mind. Wow, what's going on with that treasure chest? It's sort of transforming as we look at it. Cannot change your mind, no free refunds. Wow, alright. Let's see, what do you have? Tools, we have a set of those, thankfully. Life potion, so the yellow one appears to be life. Wow, that's quite expensive. I thought we were doing okay with gold, but I guess not. However, we do have some items that we can trade or sell, but not really worth too much here. $8 for, or 8 gold for club. Okay. I don't really want to part ways with our weapons because they come in quite handy and they seem to be somewhat expensive. It's nice to see they have a fishing rod. That's also kind of a call to Ultima Underworld, which this was, for those of you who are unaware, this initially was intended to be Ultima Underworld 3. But unfortunately, Arx stepped in and purchased Origin, the developers of the original Ultima games, and put an end to that. So the developer instead decided to continue their efforts and release this as Arx Fatalis. So for those of you who may be aware of, that's worth quite a bit. No, I don't really need any of this stuff. The developers of this game are Arcane Studios, which is responsible for the Dishonored games. So those are the kind of most modern, recently made games by Arcane Studios, and I believe this was the very first one. So you can kind of see where that began, as they sort of drew a lot of inspiration from the Looking Glass Studios games like Thief 2 and so on, which I very much enjoyed. I never did finish those Thief 1 or 2. I played a fair amount of them, but Keyring, okay. And I beat Part 3 on Xbox, but I haven't played the more recent one, which apparently is not from the original developers, but I definitely want to give it a chance sometime. A pickaxe. So we have found areas where there's gemstones embedded in the rock that we don't have access to. And a shovel, that probably will come in handy. But unfortunately we are low on cash, so we'll have to come back another time. I do have a fair amount of torches, thankfully. What about over here? Yeah. Alright, so it makes sense. The blue potion is for mana. And, you know, at this point, we haven't had to rely too much on potions or healing items, as mana and hit points restore slowly over time. We do have a pestle and mortar, although we're not sure yet what to do with them. That's cool. Potion of Invisibility, which is quite expensive. I don't know about that one yet. Poisonous potion. Okay, maybe we were supposed to give that to someone else. And the purple is a cure poison. Okay, so it's good to learn these things because, now see, well, it still says unidentified. So I'm assuming all the other ones are going to be for healing, but it's probably not a good idea to assume. What's in here? Some more foods, thankfully. Ooh, a chicken drumstick. Thankfully we can obtain food through killing rats, and I guess we can kill chickens that are roaming around, although that might be kind of cruel. We do have to cook the meat, otherwise we're unable to eat it. So these little details are always really cool to see, especially in games at this time period. You know, that's one thing the Ultima Underworld games really got right. There's so many little details, like moving objects around and really emphasizing checking out every little crack and crevice to make sure you haven't missed anything. Let's check out this place. Alright, we're in here. This looks like another shop. Hello there. Like your red leggings.
Welcome, stranger. I am Tefiat, the jeweler. I fear I must apologize for my meager stock, but the troll's strike has cut off my supply completely.
See, cut
Is
reference
there
to
no
strike.
other place you can get your gems?
No. The goblins are the only suppliers. But if you can find uncut gems for me, I'll make it worth your while.
Alright, so are you gonna help us out with a pickaxe, maybe? I'm not sure. So there's some gemstones. That's the type. Well, actually, I think I have some that I should be able to trade here. Yeah, how about that? We'll trade that and that. Give us a little bit more cash. Because that's the kind of gemstones we found that were not embedded in the rock. Okay. We do have some more rings and such that are unidentified, but since we saw a poisonous potion, it's a very possible outcome that some of these items may be cursed as well. So I haven't tried wearing any of these yet. I suppose I could save it and then try equipping it and see if the outcome is not so good. We haven't really figured out what this is. We also found that along the way. So many things to consider. Okay. Alright, well, we'll come back to you when we have some more gemstones. I don't think we have anything else I can sell them at this moment. I think he wants mushrooms. Those can be consumed along with several other things like the... I don't know about the water lily. We haven't tried that yet. Ooh, I could sell him this emerald. Seems like that's a item for trade purposes primarily. Okay. Alrighty. Moving on. I'm just gonna kind of move around the perimeter here and just check out each door as we go if I can. Nope, not this one. How about over here? We have a nice little auto map that lets us know where we've been and where we've not been. on the bottom left, we do have some indicators for our current status. You can see our armor is doing okay. Our lower half could use a little repair, but I'm not skilled at this point enough to repair it beyond where it's at currently. Our chest armor and arm armor are doing pretty well, so that's excellent. Ah, there we go. Go in here, see what's happening. This looks like possibly a tavern. And, okay, sleeping quarters. Outside. Let's check out the tavern. Oh wait, no, this appears to be a church of some kind. I was mistaken. I don't know how I got that confused. It's the tavern. Maybe it looks similar to the bar we saw when we actually came across a tavern previously.
Sir, I have nothing to say to you.
Wow. All right. That's not very nice of you. Let's talk to you.
I don't know you, and I don't trust you.
Wow, that's quite judgmental of you, being a member of the clergy. You would think you would be open-minded and want to get to know me, because otherwise, how would you be able to make a fair judgment on me? All right, so this big structure here appears to be the religious area, and if I remember correctly, up here is blocked by a bunch of fallen rock. Yes, okay, so at this point we don't have a way to remove these rocks. Maybe in the future. And for those of you who are seeing this game for the first time, it's kind of an obscure game as far as I've seen. It only existed on the original Xbox, which is how I'm playing currently, and it is currently available on Steam. But beyond that, I don't believe there are any other methods of playing this game, which is a shame because I'm definitely enjoying what I've experienced so far. Okay, we've already tried there. So this is kind of wrapping back around. Is that a... Is that a lever or something? I'm gonna see if we can hop up there and perhaps interact with it. Okay. Can we? No. Oh. Maybe this way. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Made it. Hey there. Piece of wood. Have a couple of those already. Heavy stone. Don't need. But maybe let's finesse it a little. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Come on. Come on. There. No. There we go. Dispel field. Alright, I'll take that. Goodness. Really had to have my eyes open to find these little... Okay, well, we're in the water now. Thankfully, the water doesn't do us harm. We can trot around here for a bit, see if we... Oh, we've already kind of come through here. We've seen this gentleman fishing with his dog. I'm not sure the gesture he's making. It's a little strange, but no judgment there. Also not sure I was catching fish in such shallow waters, but if that makes him happy, we're happy too. How about over here? Can we go in here? Nope. Alright, so it looks like we've kind of explored everything over in this region of the kingdom. Did you cover your nose and mouth when you did that, sir? What do we have here? Okay, so this might be guard quarters.
Look, I have no money for you. Just leave me alone, will you?
That's harsh. Nobody asked for money, did I? Can I take the chicken drumstick? Shall we chance it? Alright. No objections to that.
Locked.
Locked. What about
Hello?
you? At least you didn't say anything mean. Is this the captain of the guard? Is this
I have an
Carlo?
urgent message for the king.
I am Carlo,
It
captain
is.
of the guards.
Great.
Our king, His Majesty Lunshire, is in the throne room. Go into the castle, through the double door of the room with columns in. The king should be there.
Unshire. Excuse me for a moment. I like to jot these things down. Not everything is updated in our logbook, so I like to keep track, and it also serves as a callback to when I did play the Ultima Underworld games, where you really had to bust out the graph paper and create some maps and jot down any interesting findings like runes and such. I'm checking these pillows because in a previous area someone stashed some gold under a pillow, so you never know. Alright, so we gotta find this King Lunshire. That's Carlo, thank you. What do we have here? Nothing. There. Alright. Let's see here. There's a pathway there, and a pathway over here. Just want to make sure we've tried every door, because you never know where we might encounter another objective or some cool items. Go down here. Alright. Cool. What is this? A bank, perhaps?
Hey, mate.
Thank you for not being mean. Can I have that? Oh, we can purchase shares in mining. So there is a economy going on here. That's cool. That's not surprising because a lot of those Ultima games had their own sort of economics and politics and so forth. So we can do that at some point. Gold bar, okay. Can't afford that just yet. Let's talk to him. Maybe we can store some items in the bank, or not. Sir, hello, customer. Is there a bell? Excuse me, hello. Sir, please. I'd like to potentially be a customer. Hey, back here. No, you don't wish to speak with us. What a shame. We have a potential customer here that maybe I don't have a lot of money now, but down the road I might be able to be a good investment or a business partner, something. Gave us the option to speak or talk to him. We're going to try again. It seems like his path sort of winds around, or not. I'll give you a chance, sir, to notice that we have a customer, please. Hello? You're talking to yourself, or maybe chewing gum. I'm not sure what's happening here. Come on, just a few more steps there. Talking not allowed. Alright, so I guess the banker, maybe, has nothing to say, but thankfully we can create transactions without his help. No, can't go in there. Okay. The random guards here haven't really had anything worthwhile to say. Sometimes they accuse us of begging for money. Other times they just seem not interested at all. So we'll just kind of bypass them. Tried that already. Alright, so we went this way. Went that way. What about up here? Anybody home? Alright, we go in here. What is that? Can't go in there. I want to see if I can. Okay, so clicking right thumbstick makes you crouch, by the way. And sometimes if you can interact with hatches or something like that, you just crouch and take a swing at it. I don't have any weapon equipped, but it's partly because we're in a town, but might as well grab this club and just try and see if we can.
Cannot break it just like that.
Okay. Can't break it just like that. So perhaps we can access that at a later time. Let's see here. Leave no path untreaded and no stone unturned. Let's see if we have anything. Okay, so we did come from over here. Tried this already. Yep. Okay. Let's see what's going on up here. Anything noteworthy? Okay, this is back to the church place. And this appears, I have stepped through here and it did load another environment, so I'm assuming that's the actual, excuse me, castle proper, where the king would be to potentially advance the plot. I'd like to make a little last perimeter check here. Make sure that we have gone through all the doors. Another hatch that I can't open at this time. We don't seem to have any spells yet, and I'll just kind of show you how the spells work, or what we do have so far. Magic Missile, Ignite, Fireball, which is quite powerful, and Fire Field, which I haven't even tried yet, but in order to do these spells, you have to press the cast button, then do certain motions based on what spell you're attempting to cast. So it actually is quite interactive in that way. So you can see those 3 runes underneath Fire Field, and ultimately that means you have to do them in that order. So the first one is this one, and that's just right. The second one is Yok, which is down, right, up. And then the third one is, what's the name of that one? Spacium. So that one is, okay, left, down, right, up. So kind of do it in order, and then you hit X again at the end of it, and if you did everything correctly, it will cast the appropriate spell. So far, the one we use the most is Ignite, because that helps us to light torches that are against the walls in certain areas. Pig, okay, just kind of roaming around. It's nice. Still don't know what's going on over here. There's just like randomly debris, broken stool. Someone just, maybe that's the timeout corner or something where people can go break stuff when they're being naughty. And how about this? Oh, well now, there's a random potion on the ground. Oh, bottle of water. Always good to stay hydrated. Actually, while we're on the subject, I shall hydrate myself. go. Okay, not much in there. So I believe now we have explored as many doors as we can access so far. Pass through up here. Oh, I was wrong. Okay, can't go there. And sometimes it also helps to go into these little corners because you do have, based on your abilities, of which there are several, the ability to, with our intuition, is to find like hidden buttons and so forth. We have found a couple so far. So we're still pretty early on, as you can see, level 1, although I've seen that we've gained a level before, but maybe we started at level 0. I'm assuming that's how it was because we did have points to add to our pool for both our skills as well as our attributes. So we have strength, mental, for our magic primarily, and magical resistance, dexterity, and constitution. And for our skills, we have stealth, which I sort of fashioned this character in a little bit more of a stealth build, if you will. Technical skill, we have not yet come across any locks to pick or doors to, or traps to disable, I should say. We saw intuition already. Ethereal link is kind of similar to perception in the D&D universe, where we use that to you know, kind of give us an idea where the monsters are, and it seems to help with our as you can see there, as the text scrolls, gives you information about how your opponent's status during the fight, and we also use that for regeneration of mana. Object knowledge is pretty handy. We have come across an anvil, as referenced a little earlier, to repair our weapons and armor. Right now our skill is low, so there's probably a fair chance that we could actually do more harm than good when it comes to repairing. Casting, pretty straightforward. Close combat, projectiles, which we found arrows, but no bow at this time, or crossbow, or arquebus, or whatever may be in this game. I'm assuming there are lots of options, because that's another kind of standard in the Ultima series. And then this is our defense. So even though we're just level 1, we're doing okay. Alrighty, so seems like there's a seam right there, but that's pretty common in these type of games from this generation. There's another one right there. How about this door? No, not today. Okay, so after I kind of check over here, I'm just gonna, this is part of that religious building. I don't want to call it church necessarily, because they may use different terminology during this time period. And yeah, so I think we'll go ahead and enter the castle. And as you see written on the floor there, City of Arx. So this is our, basically our namesake of the game. And we do have a larger map, which does apparently give us a bit of information of areas we've come across. You know what, I have not gone to Miguel the Armorer, so I think we're gonna check him out first, because depending on the prices, it might not be a bad idea to restore some of our weapon and armor ability, more so the weapons. So according to the map, that, wait a second, I go the wrong direction, I did not. Okay, so it should be right here. No. I mean, good thing is we can continue moving while the larger map is on screen. That's definitely very handy, because sometimes map in the upper right corner is not always the most accurate, so it appears that we are unable to visit Miguel at this point, unless there happens to be a separate entrance that I'm not aware of. I'm going to just kind of take a peek here, because it seems like he's within this area. I may have missed a door. There are numerous ones. I did not try this one. Okay, good thing we came back. So now we might be able to meet the armorer, the blacksmith, I should say. Has anyone played any of the Ultima Underworld games in the past? I'm just curious, because they were pretty popular at the time, late 90s. So we have an option to go on these stairs, which may take us to Miguel. I'm going to go ahead and save it, just to be safe. Never hurts to save, and save often. Alright. Should be good to go. Alrighty. And let's take the stairs. That looks an awful lot like the big spider that we defeated and were almost slain while battling earlier. I do enjoy the artwork during the load screens. It helps kind of pass the time with a little less tedium in the process. This is not what I thought it would be. Oh, okay. This is returning to where we were before. So that part you just saw is where we came from before entering this city of Arx. So it appears we will have to unlock access to the blacksmith later on. It appears the next course of action is to go inside the castle itself. You know. So we shall, excuse you. This was the guard quarters. Yep, there's Carlo. What was that? You know, can I have this? So, okay, that's cool. I do like how they take into consideration heavier armor and its impact on certain stats. So the metal shield will take away 5% from our stealth ability. Okay, we do have... Okay, anybody trying to go after us? No? Okay, that's great. So that means I can take some more... Ooh, that two-handed sword. Do not have enough strength, and it would also be a little outside of the realm of a rogue-type character to wield. The axe I'll hold on to just in case we need another weapon. I didn't see any specific penalties with equipping that one. Alright, so head on over to the castle entrance. And this is the religious building, so this is the entrance to the main castle. So let's go ahead and see what's going on in here. Is that the king? King Lunshire, possibly. Alright.
I am sick to death of this.
Okay. Hello.
Hey, mate.
Alright. Hey, mate. Back at ya. Nothing. Alright. That's okay. If you don't have anything to say, that is totally fine. Okay, guard quarters. Dagger. I'll leave that. We don't really need a dagger. Loaf of bread always helps. You never know when you need some food. Ooh, that's tempting, as we don't have any armor for our head. But it does affect stealth, and I don't really have the strength to wear it anyway. So take the water, take the torch. Thankfully no one seems to mind. Hello there. Oh wow, you seem a little tipsy there, sir. Are you off duty or taking a
You
break?
better watch your step, mate.
That's not very nice.
Look, I'm a bit too busy to talk right now.
No, you're entitled to play some cards. Can I? Yeah, you know what? I don't really think it's time for you to play cards. Back to work. Perhaps they are too tossed to notice I just took their cards. Maybe they're playing with I don't know what they're playing now. They're just imaginary cards at this point. Have at it. Okay, what's over here? Hey now. Alright, heal. That's great. What's nice is that once you pick up a scroll, it's automatically set to precast, as you see there with the Y button. That means instead of having to go through the actual up, down, right, whatever it may be, motions, it'll just actually cast the spell immediately. And if I remember right, we have levitate already in precast, which didn't really mean to do earlier, but if we need it, we have it ready to go. Library and laboratory. Alright, let's go in here.
Well, a new face.
Okay.
No doubt the king sent you to me for advice.
He didn't send me at all.
See, I look after the kingdom's
This is quite an interesting librarian. I've never seen one with this type of look.
for you.
I don't know what you can do for me. Sister Chinkash. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna write that down because she seems rather interesting, to say the least. This is the first time we've encountered a snake woman. I don't know if I want to call her Medusa, but it's nothing interesting. Read it that quickly, eh? Oop, wait a second. Okay, so this book seems interesting because we have heard of the Guild of Travelers before that has been sort of alluded to we may be a member of, although we certainly don't remember. So let's go ahead and take a gander. The Guild of Travelers was the first institution created after the death of Arx's son. Oh yes, there is no sun in this world. Everything's basically a bleak ice world outside of these caves from what we've been told, but since we haven't been out there ourselves, it's hard to really tell. Its origins stem from a handful of die-hard survivors who did not want to join the rest of the population underground. These rare survivors developed techniques for resisting the cold by ingesting alchemist drugs. They built their own shelters from ice and bred dogs which were also able to resist the cold. They were joined by other men and women who were not afraid of the cold and who also wanted to venture out to other cities. Out of these journeys was born the Guild of Travelers, which is now the only remaining means of communication between the underground cities. They were always well respected and eagerly welcomed, for they are the only people able to bring news from the outside. Alrighty. How about this book? Is this interesting? Nothing interesting. This one? Nothing interesting. How about this one? Nope. You? No. Ah. Ancient Gods by Abdul Al-Raif. I'm saying that correctly? Ma'am, please don't hurt me. Let's take a look at this one. Okay. In the beginning, the gods were omnipotent. They reigned over Arx for eons before humans made their first appearance. We know very little about the gods, apart from the fact that it seems they were full of wrath at the proliferation of humans and disappeared from the surface of Earth. Sounds a little familiar, eh? Some very ancient writings suggest that this disappearance was caused by the lack of faith the first mortals showed in them. Two gods stayed longer than all the others before disappearing. Their names were Zohark and Krahaz. This almost sounds like the plot of Supernatural, the series, even though I haven't watched the whole thing. Zohark was the most powerful of all gods. He was thunder, lightning, and earthquakes. Sounds almost like Zeus, but also mixed in with other gods. Okay, he was storms, hurricanes, and everything that represented the brutal force of nature. But his power was only liberated by Krahaz. Krahaz was the goddess of equity, guardian of equilibrium and equality. They both needed each other, which could be why they stayed longer than the other gods, but finally they disappeared like the rest. Modern times saw ancient beliefs abandoned, and humans who could create magic themselves had their turn at controlling the earth and the lightning. Humans entered into a new conceptual era where they had more belief in their own capabilities and only turned to the gods for marginal things such as fertility or hedonism. They revered the gods of negotiation, gold, and luck, and even the gods of the poor. But these first gods, the gods of the brutal forces of creation, had no place in the pantheon. Since the start of this new era, in this shift of faith, the most powerful gods have retreated to their own dimension, called the Nodin, where they await new worshippers to enable them to return. Alrighty, that's pretty cool. I'm enjoying the lore in this game. They really seem to expand quite a bit as we go. Here, how about this one? Nothing interesting. How about you? Nope. You? No. How about you? No. You? No. No. You. 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 Alright, lots of nothing interesting in this library. Locked. And what about you? No. 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 How about you? You're a unique looking book. Alright. Know Your Gods and Demons by the theologian Seponus. How about we take a read? Alador, created on Omnis, benevolent god, seems to have retired after having given humans free reign over his dimension, and in particular, the capacity to control their own destiny. He's assumed to have been very powerful, but he never put his full powers on display before leaving the dimension of Omnis. Zarm, created on Omnis, evil god, the exact opposite of the previous god. Zarm was very angry with Alador for the independence he gave to the humans. Seeing that he could not take this away from them, he undertook to try and get them under his control by reducing them to slavery. Akbaz, we have heard of that. We didn't know it was a god. I thought that was actually a priest, but now we're learning. We're filling in the blanks here. Created on Koltk, evil god, named the god of destruction because he destroyed Koltk completely. He was initially adored by his followers because of the help he gave them during their wars and conflicts. Turkio, created an Arx, benevolent god, despises the futility of the rich. It is advisable to get rid of all your gold pieces before doing any kind of business with him. Alright, sounds reasonable. My goodness, so we're almost full with our stock here. Hopefully we can find a sort of a home base where we can drop our things. Ma'am, please. How about you? Can we look at you? No. You? No. 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 Oh, yes. The Races of Arx by Sabrafi Nin. Oh, this is a quest item. Thank you for letting us know. Take a look. Relations between the different races in Arx have always been difficult. The goblins were the most populous of all the races, due in part to their high fertility rates. However, as they were never able to organize themselves into a united kingdom, they gradually lost their predominant position. Fundamentally, goblins are not very intelligent. That's harsh. Everyone can become intelligent. Isn't that what neuroplasticity is all about? Perhaps this was before that concept was understood. They have their own language and mostly speak a kind of pidgin version of human language. They are always looking for something to find fault with and constantly annoying the person they are talking to. Wow. Seems like it was written by someone who does not care for goblins. They are liars, arrogant, cowardly, and are extremely lazy. That doesn't seem, well, can't speak for all of it, but they haven't been very lazy so far. They've certainly organized themselves into groups to attack me throughout the early parts of the game. The only time the goblins were the allies of humans was during the time of the Great Treaty. During this time, they helped build the underground kingdom, putting their natural aggression and bad manners aside for a while. However, after the work was complete and they had settled in, they slipped back into their old ways. It seems that trading gemstones is the only peaceful activity even the most tolerant of each race can bear, which also feeds into what we've experienced so far in the game. They only seem to want to deal with the, humans if they have something to offer in terms of gems. Trolls are a different kettle of fish. Even if it seems that their origins are similar to those of the goblins, they are completely different. They are very weak-willed and are creatures that seem to live in slow motion. They are not aggressive and are much more often benevolent, but their monstrous strength and legendary stamina make them both weighty allies and lethal adversaries. Their existence is made up of the simple things in life, such as finding something to eat or somewhere to sleep. Because they are mentally weak, they are quite easy to fool, but woe will become anyone who does so if they find out, as their anger is legendary. The Ratmen, who we've not encountered yet, have always preferred to have very little contact with other races. They communicate in signs rather than in words, sometimes adding in cooing sounds. Ratmen are extremely agile and thus formidable adversaries in combat. Some of them are the biggest killers in Arx. They are very subtle and extremely swift. They often use poisoned weapons. Wonderful. They lived underground in the city's sewers when humans still lived above ground. Feeding off waste products and excrements seems to suit them very well. Remind me not to have dinner with them. Until now, The few run-ins we have had with the Ratmen have been brief but bloody. They made occasional forays into human cities to rifle through garbage bins looking for food and rudimentary tools. Since they have been hidden underground in the fortress of Arx, they have slowly lost all contact with all the other races and move around with exemplary discretion. Okay. Dwarves, also not met yet, have a passion for anything mechanical, craftsmanship, and for anything to do with engineering. They are also the best blacksmiths in the world. They have lived in the underground fortress well before all the races took residence there also. So, sounds like the dwarves are kind of the classic version of dwarves. I look forward to encountering them, especially if they can help me improve my armor and weapons. They are the only ones who know how to build mines and exploit them properly, and they often sell the products they mine to humans. They have always had an appalling relationship with the goblins and waged numerous wars upon them, trying to eliminate them completely. One of their largest mines was chosen as a refuge and the site of the new city of Arx. They also helped build the basic infrastructures on site and undertook many jobs there apart from those on the goblin level. As they were already used to living in the depths, they moved further underground and continued to exploit their mines. The origin of the Sisters of, Eternium is a mystery. They look like hybrids between women and snakes, so that'll explain our librarian over to the left. Their skin is covered in scales. There seem to be no males in their race, and we know nothing about how they reproduce. They are very gifted in the use of magic, making them the best magicians in Arx. I don't know if you can hear that in the distance. I live not too far from train tracks. It's always sort of comforting to hear that sound. According to the certain legend, they were involved in the very origins of magic. They have always been very close to the human race, helping them at every difficult stage of their development. During their migration, the sisters promised to help the king of the humans and created underground plants to feed the inhabitants and their livestock. Very little is known about dragons, which we also have not seen at this point. Thankfully, they probably would not be taken too kindly to a petty human at this point. However, scholars have noticed that there are 4,815 scales on every specimen studied. That's a very specific number, I think. I may jot that down in case it's like a code or something later. Okay, well, that's nice. And let's see, how about you, no, you, and you. All right, we have lots of books now. It probably isn't a good idea to carry all these around. I should leave them in the library. I don't even have a library card, so it'd be a bad idea to take them. Okay, let's see, what was the name of this one? Great Invention of Arx by Edric Arol. Human imagination has always given our society fantastic inventions. Everyone can remember the gigantic balloons kept aloft by hot air, which gave us such great capacity for exploration in the past. They also provided an excellent surveillance system against invasions, allowing us to keep watch over great distances. Another of the most fabulous inventions ever conceived was a submarine. Wow, sounds like they were quite an advanced civilization for a time. Definitely haven't seen balloons or submarines at this stage in the game. This marvelous construction brought us a new means for fighting off pirates and goblin fleets. This gave us naval supremacy during the dark years of chaos and despair. Lord Marco, creator of this priceless invention, is one of the most celebrated heroes in the whole of Arx. But the greatest human invention is undoubtedly the underground kingdom of Arx. Perhaps it is not so much an invention as the conversion of an existing structure. Its origins are that of an old dwarf mine with a particularly effective ventilation system. Already a splendid structure, it has become tense. It seems a little off. It has become even more impressive thanks to the way humans have organized it. The old mine became a truly autonomous world using all available space. Each known race was granted a level in accordance with the treaty signed in the year 217. This kingdom is a living demonstration of what human determination can achieve. All right. How about you, ma'am? Please, don't breathe on us. Nothing. Oh, that's another one. Okay. Oops. Let me go back and... Kings of Arx by Grenonic Warmhill. Alright, cool name. Poxelius was our first king. He was first to bring together the 5 human tribes living on our continent in the year 170. These tribes have been constantly in conflict with each other since the beginning, but not one of them was powerful enough to establish supremacy over the others. Poxelius was good and courageous, and he challenged and defeated the leader of each of the tribes in what came to be known. Came to be known, let's add the end there, as the Battle of the Shattered Shields. For before challenging the tribal leaders, Poxelius had ventured into an abandoned temple in the Wailing Mine Mountains. From this temple, he brought back an enchanted shield which allowed him to defeat all the leaders. As soon as he became leader of all 5 tribes, Poxelius declared himself King of Arx. After this, he reigned over the new kingdom of Arx with wisdom, fairness, and generosity. He had a long and prosperous reign, despite skirmishes with goblins and ratmen, which, thanks to his military genius, he always managed to curb. He was less fortunate with his descendants. His first 2 sons, Elois and Nicus, both fine warriors, died during Poxelius' lifetime. Oh, how sad. Luckily, at the time of his death in 212, his youngest son, Lunshire, who we're apparently supposed to be meeting soon, was left to succeed him, but he was still too young. Lord Ponset acted as a regent until the boy's coming of age, but he plotted to stop Lunshire from taking the throne. He was never very popular, and his little scheme failed, as Lunshire took the throne in 215 at the age of 16. Oh, that's quite a burden to take on at that age. King Lunshire faced a difficult task from the start, as the sun began its decline over our world. He was the instigator of the migration of the population underground. He did everything within his power to save as many people as the dwarf mines could take. He had the diplomatic intelligence to sign a treaty with all the other races in Arx, without which the move would have taken much longer and may have even been halted by the Ice Age, which was fast approaching. King Lunshire honored the memory of his father by transporting his coffin to a new crypt built on the foundation of the miner's tomb so that people would never lose respect or forget this great king. All right, so nothing there, nothing there. No, let me guess, yes. The History of Arx by Nayu Kazmadian. In ancient times, 5 human tribes inhabited the largest continent in our world. These tribes were always at war, and the more structured they became, the worse it got. After years of war and a buildup of hatred, a man by the name of Poxelius came and succeeded in uniting these different groups. He became the first king of the humans. After the last Battle of the Shattered Shields in 170, Arx enjoyed its longest ever period of peace and prosperity. During Poxelius' reign, the only period of war was in fact the philosophical wars of the conflict we call the War of the Magi. However, even though this war was brutal and many people died in it, in fact, it only lasted a few months and had no effect on the political leadership of our kingdom. For the rest of his reign, Poxelius was faced by a number of threats. A large number of goblin invasions were warded off as ratmen began to live in the city's sewers. Battles were bloody and this unjust war lasted a long time, but the kingdom's armies, led by Poxelius himself, massacred the enemies. And once more, peace reigned over Arx. The exploration of the oceans began. Many strong boats put out to sea on the oceans to seek new lands and new treasures. But in 216, a meteor fell to Earth in our world. At first, nobody thought anything of this phenomenon, but certain visionaries had sensed that it was a very bad omen for Arx's future. In fact, just years later, our sun began to die. Light became rarer and rarer, and the temperature plummeted to dangerous levels. Our then very youthful King Lunshire, son of Poxelius, ordered that the whole city move to a nearby disused dwarf mine. It was an enormous amount of work, but all people knew they were working for their own salvation, and not a soul complained. Imagine that. Humans working together for a common goal. How novel. A peace treaty was signed with all the other races except the ratmen, with whom it is impossible to talk. However, their attacks became fewer at this time. All were busy saving Arx, saving their own lives. A treaty was signed, giving level of the mine to each race in exchange for the work done. This harmony lasted 5 years, during which time our sun perished. Everything was done to save Arx's inhabitants, but nevertheless many lost their lives. In addition, nothing was heard from any of the other cities on the continent, and the logical conclusion was reached that they had done the same. It was not until much later that news arrived, borne by members of the Guild of Travelers. Other fortresses did still exist, spread across the continent, imprisoned in a thick shell of ice. The Guild of Travelers is now the only thing that allows communication and the occasional traffic of luxury products to flow between them. Apart from these sporadic contacts, Arx is totally self-sufficient. Okay. Alright, last stack over here. How about you? No. You. Ma'am, please. Nope. And you, and probably you. Okay. Whoop. Don't have enough space. Uh-oh. Alright, so what we're going to do here, we're just going to leave some books behind. Keep the logbook, of course, because that's a personal item. That. I'm under the impression that items do not disappear. I hope that is the case. Although, alright, we're going to hold on to that because that's a quest item. You don't need a random arrow. It takes a fair amount of space. I have several arrows in the quiver already. Okay, so that's the quest item. How about you? We'll put you over here. Okay. I'm a little nervous about these books that are sorting through the floor, but that's okay. Ma'am, please. Okay. So that's not a quest item. Okay, we're gonna leave all these behind. As I mentioned before, we don't seem to have a library card, so I don't want to take any books that we shouldn't. Anything else I can drop off here that's related to the library? No. Nope. Alright. Go back over here and take a gander at this book. Order of Edunarium by Ethan Dersku. I am sorry if I am not pronouncing the names well, but, you know, giving it a try. Very little is known about the Sisters of Udernum. Even the origins of these creatures, half woman, half snake, is not known to us. In some places, their skin is covered in scales. Are they some kind of race that dates from ancient times, or are they simply women who are victims of some form of mutation? Nobody but they could reveal the answer to this mystery. They seem to worship a snake god, but we know nothing about this god, and all the secrets about his cult are jealously guarded by the Sisterhood. We imagine that this god gave them their magic powers, but as with all the other information we have about the Order, we cannot be sure. Certain legends claim that it is the worship of this god that is responsible not only for their magic powers, but also for their transformation into snakes. There is, however, no proof for this. Since Arx's sun went into decline, the members of the Sisterhood have been the greatest allies humans have ever had. When our race first had to begin to make a life underground, the sisters offered their magic gifts to the king to bring to life a new variety of plant that could grow without the sunlight, with the light of the sun's rays, so that humans and their livestock might find nourishment. The population of Arx has a great deal of respect for the Sisters of the Order of Udernum, and will be eternally grateful to them for what they have done. Alright, I'm not going to take this to... Wow, alright, come on. Let's drop that one over here. And anything else?
Wisdom gazes down upon you from these shelves.
Okay, that's good to know. And there's a sort of a anagram type of thing maybe on the ground. Stay away from that. Okay. Alright, we read all the books in the library. Let's go ahead and save it. It was quite a bit of reading. Hopefully that was a little informative. I definitely enjoyed kind of filling in some of the lore. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to take these two books that are quest items. Please don't kill me or turn me to stone. Alright. That's a librarian that I don't think we want to mess with. We have your observatory. Okay. Let's take a look at the observatory. Maybe. We're really going off the map here, sort of. Oh, neat. Alright. What's this here? Anything we can interact with? No. Who are you? A man. Alright. Darn. Can we take a peek? Yes, we can. Let's talk to you first. What's this? Can we interact with that? No.
I am the new astronomer. I was assistant to poor Fallon Orba Planix, and since his death, I do my best to look after the observatory.
Alright, that's pretty cool. He has a astronomer up in here. Oh, take a look. Whoa, alright. Hey now. Alright, let's take it easy. Is this where are we seeing here? Okay, this is pretty cool. We get a chance to look outside and see our sunless world. Alright, that's pretty much it. Didn't seem like we could move it around too much, but that was kind of neat. We have a chance to see what things look like on the outside. Alrighty. There's quite a bit going on here. Definitely enjoying the exploration of this castle in the city of Arx. I don't know what that was. Librarian, please stay there. We already went there. We have not gone this way. And that probably takes us to the main chambers. See what's down over this way, off to the left. Is that a dragon? Not sure. Alright, lots of locked in passageways here. Hi
Hey,
there.
mate.
Hey, mate. Okay. And over here.
Hey, mate.
Alright, you're not mean. And are we going towards some kind of dungeon area, possibly? Jail? No? How about this? Since we saved it earlier, I think it's okay, just in case someone decides to lock us in here. Ooh. Just voluntarily go back to jail, even though this is not a goblin jail. They do have nicer toilets here, a little bit of privacy, which didn't exist in the goblin jail. Jar, dirty plate. Well, there's no one in here, you don't need to keep all these things. Another hatch. Alright, so I'm assuming most of these hatches have some sort of connection to the sewers that we will probably have access to later on, where we may encounter these rat men. I'm not sure. And how about over here? Alright. And this would be just like the cook's quarters. Alright, I'll take that. We already have some wine. I don't know if wine's a good thing or bad thing in this game, because I don't know if there's any intoxication that occurs. Let's see if there's anything we have in our inventory that is not cooked. Because we've learned early on in the game that we can toss uncooked foods onto the fire to cook them. Or, quite handily, if we test out or use a fireball on a edible enemy, or well, I shouldn't call them enemies, life form, that it'll cook it also once they search the corpse. So we have some fresh fish. Let's go ahead and drop it in there. And now it's cooked fish. Awesome. Alright. Where'd it go? Where is the other uncooked fish? Yeah, hey Synchro GK, have you played this before? Assuming on PC. Let's toss that in there, toss that, and toss that. We have that. Okay, now we have cooked fish. Great. Hi there. I'll talk to you in just a moment. Chicken drumsticks. I don't really need. I'll take an apple. I don't have any fruit. It doesn't seem like anyone's upset with us when we take stuff from here. Leek, bottle of wine. All right. So let me say hello to you, madam.
Was it 2 or 3? La-di-da, da-da-da.
Right. Just pretend we're not here. That's okay. At least you're not hating. Okay, and this is probably where to keep all the spare foods. Look in here. Ooh, garlic. A little bit of that, just in case it's a reagent or component for later. And sure, we'll take a couple more of those for our travels. What's this? Piece of wood, don't need that. We have plenty of flour. Hoping we can make some cookies later. Wine, water, I have some of that. There's a book. Ooh, Cooking for Goblins by Duri Palua.
What we needed.
And that is a quest item, so I will take that. Let's take a gander at this book. Recipe for siambles. Mix the sugar and flour. Okay. Add the required amount of water and knead the dough until it is of an even consistency. When this has been done, put it in the oven, taking care not to burn it. Once it is cooked, take a chicken's egg and mix the white and yolk. Spread this mixture on your cake and put it back in the oven for a minute or so. That's an interesting way. Cakes and cookies I've learned how to make. Put the egg in prior to cooking the flour and sugar, and there's no baking powder or similar, so I'm not sure what we're really making here, but that's fine. Sounds interesting either way. I don't know about sugar. I haven't come across it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and head on out. Nothing? Okay. Oh, you just do your job there. That's cool. Hoping we can find some kind of a storehouse or other place to put some of our items, because as you can see, we are pretty loaded here. Let me see something here, because I know we can group items, and usually it seems we can stack items in a series of 10. So what I'll do is see if we can move this and combine with that. Ooh, not quite. Looks like 8 is the magic number for torches. Oh, okay, I see why, because these have been partly used. I'm going to equip that and just let it burn out, because the durability when it comes to torches is in reference to the amount of fuel. Yeah, this is my first time playing this game, and I have owned it for quite some time. I just haven't got around to it, and I felt like this was a great game to be the first one I stream, because I just haven't heard much about it. It hasn't been given a lot of love as far as I'm aware.
Can't stay
And
here,
it's really a
sir.
shame
It's out of bounds.
for many reasons. This
Far too quiet.
was the first game developed by Arcane Studios, which designed the awesome Dishonored games, which I have finished the first
Orders to follow.
and not played the second. I do own it, but I haven't played through it yet. And for fans of the Ultima series, specifically Ultima Underworld 1 and 2, this was originally going to be... Hey, what, why are you attacking me? What did I do? I'm not sure what happened there. Sir?
Stay where you are.
Whoa, what's happening? What did I do? Oh goodness, this is bad news. Let me head out here. I mean, maybe we'll reset their hostility. Just lighting a torch what made everyone upset. I'm not too sure there what happened, but guess we'll find out. That's pretty funny. Move in close, huh? Alright, well, that was strange, because I haven't really had that happen. Is it because I had the torch equipped or something? Because it really didn't seem like it was a problem previously. Maybe it's because I took some items from the galley. I don't know. Either way, it seemed like that was a sudden aggressive action there. We'll try to avoid that. Took an apple. That could have been problem, but usually it doesn't let you steal. It just says, hey, you can't take that, like when I went to a tavern previously. Alright, so let's see how this goes.
Oh, strange.
Oh no! Uh-oh. Okay, so...
Not so proud now, are we?
Huh. That's interesting. Thankfully I saved it not too long before that, but I don't think it's because I took the books from the library, because those were quest items. We'll go ahead and load our game. Perhaps it's because I took food from the galley, although the woman there certainly didn't seem to mind what we did there. Give me just one moment, I'm going to turn the light on. It's getting dark here. There we go. Hey, Kelly. Welcome aboard. I was just murdered by the guards for reasons uncertain. Possibly because I took an apple from the galley, but I'm not sure yet. We've met the... I've read all the books in the library here. I took 2 of them, which seemed to be quest items, so I don't think that's why I was attacked, because they didn't attack me before. Yeah, although it is kind of my fault for stealing, so I just wanted an apple. I've never had one. And this is a librarian. I've never quite come across a librarian snake woman. She hasn't killed us or seemed upset when we took those quest item books, so just kind of leave her alone. And from there, we did go up above. We saw this sign over here that told us there's a... This is the observatory, which is kind of neat. So I'm going to just recap that real quick, because that's basically the second to last thing we did before we went to where the food was being prepared. So this is the Astronomer.
I am the new Astronomer. I was assistant to poor Fallon Orbaplanix, and since his death, I do my best to look after
If you're not kidding, Synchro, I do save often, so thankfully we don't have to recap all the library stuff. But yeah, that was... I've learned the lesson many times over throughout my life, especially playing older role-playing games on the PC, like the original Ultima Underworld games, and many games since. So yes, definitely good advice to save, and save often. So we get a little peek at the Sunless World that we inhabit. It's kind of cool. We haven't set a foot outside the caves just yet, but I have a feeling we will eventually. Alright, so now I'm going to go back to where we picked up that food. And this time I won't take any food. I'm just going to pass through the area, and hopefully it doesn't trigger hostility. Because I'm pretty sure we're supposed to take quest items. Alright, so as they do not have their weapons drawn, we do not seem to be in a troubling situation at this point. Okay. We didn't go through here before, but that's because it's locked. Okay.
I'm on duty right now.
I figured. Okay, so is that we found over here.
Hey, mate.
Hey, mate. Okay, we figured this would be this is the jail. Since we just broke out of jail, I'd like to not go back. And I commented that the toilets in the human kingdom jails are far nicer and give a bit more privacy than those in the goblin kingdom. Yeah, definitely the king will be next on the list. I wanted to go grab that quest item book back in the cook's quarters here. I think I'll go ahead and create a new save just in case something goes awry after doing that. But yes, we're going to go see King Lunshire in a moment. Alright, saved. Resume. Okay, so we did help ourselves some food in here, which was probably the issue. We won't do that this time.
Or 3.
This woman doesn't want to speak to us, so that's her right. I will take this because it is a quest item. Hopefully that isn't what triggers hostility. I'm going to not touch anything else there. Hi there. You're still not upset. Okay, good, good. Alright, so I'm going to make the assumption that the taking of food is what triggered the hostility. It would have been nice to have the opportunity to turn over the food without being assaulted.
Can't stay here, sir. It's out of bounds.
Being
Excuse me.
given the opportunity to return it or pay a fine instead of being outright slaughtered. But it makes sense because in the Ultima games, which again this is sort of based off of and was going to be Ultima Underworld 3. What? What did I do? Uh-oh. So I must have entered an area where I'm not supposed to be. That's pretty clear now. Let's not do that. I'm gonna load. Yep, you got it. Yeah, we don't need to do that again. That's the one. So it seems like if we go up those stairs, that triggers an encounter. Did they? I didn't even hear that. I have the volume a little lower so it won't override my speech or what you're hearing through the stream. You would think they'd put a barrier up, but maybe I should just listen a little more carefully. And again, if we enter an area we're not supposed to be, it seems kind of funny that they immediately go into a rage and just assault. Alright, so I'm just going to go grab the book. Alright, so I was mistaken, so I'm going to take stuff from here. I'm going to take this apple right in front of your face. There. Yeah. So stealing is okay. Going upstairs, not okay. Going out of bounds. Alright, not touching the stairs. Can I go off the carpet? Is that illegal? I'm not sure the etiquette here. I want to talk to the jester first. Oh.
I escaped from one of the goblin prisons and I've been sent by Ortier. He and his men are trapped at your outpost. He says he needs help to clear the pathway to the castle, which is blocked by a landslide. They have also been attacked by a small number of Ilsids and will be unable to resist another attack.
Good heavens. These are grave tidings, Anshigar.
Grave tidings indeed.
Done our kingdom a great service, and you have
done a great service, yet I can't walk up the stairs.
Commensurate with the risks you've taken to bring us this news. This cave-in is no small problem, however, and its solution will take some consideration. I have decided on a course of action.
That was
You
quick.
will take this message to Pog, King of the Trolls. His people are very capable miners. They have even helped construct this village. The Trolls live one level below us.
Okay.
I've encountered them already.
I certainly have,
They
and
are
they said I was
just
not their
as
friend.
ugly as goblins, but
Well, that's
5
not
times
nice. Just
the
because they look
size.
different than us
But
doesn't mean they're
relations are
ugly.
excellent between our two kingdoms, just the same. We've a shared hatred for the Rat Men.
Seems like everyone hates on the Rat Men.
Immediate help.
It seems
We
like
learned that they live underground and
these events.
feed off of
Well, I shall help.
waste and
But I
detritus
expect your
of
help in return.
the humans.
Do not fear.
So
You
I
shall be well
don't think I want to eat
rewarded for this
dinner with
task.
them.
Gold will do me little good if I can't regain my memory.
There you go.
Sure, it will
Thank
all
you.
come back to you.
Money
The
can't buy
goblins must have
everything.
given you a serious knock to the head. That's all. Don't worry. And now, I beseech you, take this
Beseech
message
you,
as the
I love it.
kingdom's emissary to Paul, King of the Trolls.
Alrighty. Can I?
Well, I can see no reason for you to hang around here any longer.
Goodness. All right. Jeez. I'm no longer useful in this case. Hello. Can I talk to you? All right. Jamming out on the loot. Is that what that is? A loot?
More, huh? Just what we needed.
So now that I'm okay, since those guards are standing there, I guess we're gonna make the assumption that it's forbidden, even for someone who's done a great service to the kingdom, to go up the stairs and walk around. So it's very private up there. I'm not sure. I'm not going to chance it, even though I'm a hero, or a partial hero, for providing this warning. What? No problem? Alright. Hey, any contribution is A-okay by me. Okay, I think we're done with all this. Gonna go find those trolls that we met earlier. Right. The one place we haven't been able to reach is where the blacksmith is in the city of Arx. So maybe that's opened up to us now. However, I have now been streaming for almost an hour and 45 minutes, and as I enjoy streaming, I also enjoy circulation and preventing tissue creep and stagnant blood from setting in. Blood clots are bad. Degenerative change to your vertebrae and discs is also bad. And I speak from experience as a massage person and a doctor of chiropractic. So I'm going to stop here. I will attempt for the first time a raid to someone I very much enjoy watching. I'm going to see if they are currently streaming. As I always like to pay it forward if possible. I want to thank those who have joined my stream and enjoyed sharing this game with you. I'm very much enjoying Arx Fatalis, and I will come back to it. I don't know about later on today or tonight. It's almost, well, it's about 5:30 p.m. So I am going to call it here, and if I do not return tonight, I will come back probably in the morning tomorrow. I do have a massage appointment in the afternoon, and I'm not sure beyond that. Maybe I'll do a double stream tomorrow. But again, if you enjoyed, I'd love to see you again. Love to take you along on this journey. Arx Fatalis is a wonderful game, and certainly one I enjoy. So we are going to raid Tondagasa. He is a very wholesome streamer, very friendly, wonderful person. Streams very many retro games and currently is streaming Castlevania Circle of the Moon. I haven't watched that stream of his because that's a game I'm also going to be playing and I don't want it spoiled. So we will go ahead and raid him. And again, thank you for being here. I am grateful for each and every viewer, and you know, I'm early on in this process, but I'm having a good time, and I hope you did too. So until next time, be safe, be healthy, and be well. I will look forward to seeing you soon. So until then, see you later. Peace. Here we go.
What? Let me locking you guys in. Hold on. Pause this. Let me give you guys one of the warmest welcomes on Twitch. One of the warmest welcomes. Some may even say it's a little too warm.